welcome to the Archiflower channel. Regenerative Omegas for a Regenerative Planet. This is Andrew Hebard, and I'm pleased to be today with Bill Keith, the founder and CEO of Greenfat. But many of you will be more familiar with Keith's business that he founded and set up prior to Greenfat, The Perfect Bar. And there's probably a lot of things I could say about Bill, but the one thing I really wanted to say, which I love, which I lifted from your website, is it starts off by saying 13 children, a family bus, and a love of Whole Foods. Like, what more is there to know? And you're the eldest of 13 kids, which is impressive in of itself. And you're the founder and the CEO of Perfect Bar, the Perfect Bar product under the Perfect Snacks company.
That's right.
And I believe the background to that really speaks to your indomitable spirit, which was, you identified this opportunity in the market, which was met with less than an enthusiastic review by your college professor.
Yeah, exactly. You know the story.
And that, well, I don't know all of it, but I'm going to try and sort of limp my way through it. And it was really to disrupt the protein bar market by looking at the stuff that was predominantly in the candy aisles that had extended shelf life, full of preservatives and stuff that you can't necessarily make outside of a chemistry lab, and migrate it to the fresh produce area within the refrigerated section and say that there's a way of introducing whole foods in snack bars that taste really good, don't have a lot of sort of unwanted chemicals in there, but you met with, say, quite a lot of adversity and challenge. Is that a good handover to you?
That is a correct assessment. Well done. No, thank you. First of all, thank you for having me. Really excited to talk about all things Archiflower as well as this new project. But to wrap up Perfect Bar, it was a wild journey. I mean, it was a company started out of tragedy. My father had fallen ill. I was in college playing basketball at the time. I dropped out of college, looked at all the different solutions, and we had these little protein balls. And between you and I, Andrew, they were called Daddy Balls because he made up the formula back in the day, and I needed to change the name. And so we came up with the name Perfect Bars, Perfect Foods Bars at the time. And I started peddling them to local co-ops and stores in Ziploc bags. They'd put us all over the store because there was no refrigerated snacking sets, so we were the first to do it. So those first couple years were really tough. We were within 30 days of closing our doors. But the turning point for us was at this festival where I met the right person and got a chance at a Whole Foods in Berkeley. I ended up sleeping in my car outside of the Whole Foods in Berkeley, and for 30 days going back and forth between a little kitchen in Sacramento. And I demoed that store every day myself. And that was in 2006. So quite a long time ago. After those 30 days, we did so well. Our taste and was received so well that we got into 10 more stores. And that's what started this, what's now an 18-year journey of becoming, the fastest selling bar in the country. So really exciting. I'll tell you, it had its challenges along the way. Part of the motivation, and I'll just go into the motivation for my next product, was I was looking at different opportunities. It was a family company, and I really wanted to end this story well. So we decided to partner with Mondelez and sell the company. Because you hear so many tough stories about that second generation, third generation taking over the company, and it's just turning such a beautiful thing into something that's not beautiful. And so I wanted to end it in a good note. And so we found the right partner to continue the vision. And with that, it took me a year of just, presenting this company, management presentations across different huge multinational companies around the world. And what happened is I was in the worst shape of my life. Here I am, this health food guy, right? And I'm 45 pounds overweight. I'm finding myself just having prostate issues really severe to the point where they're talking about surgery. And so I'll kid you not, Andrew, and this is not, I was on my toilet in tears thinking, what am I going to do? And this was actually a week after we ended up partnering. I had one of the biggest events in my life. and I was at the lowest health state in my life. So I remember at that time, saying to myself, well, Bill, if you can get through this, you got another story to tell. You got another story to share, because you got to give something to give you the motivation, right? Because it was looking pretty bleak. So I started researching different, nutrition programs with folks with my condition. Started researching different foods to eat. One of the foods that I made up was this product that, believe it or not, my dad, as that eccentric nutritionist when I was a child, would make for folks with prostate and urinary tract conditions. I was this mixture of oils. And so I started mixing these oils up and started taking it, and then started talking to some of my friends about different oils to make this recipe even better, With that, ahi flour was mentioned as an ingredient that I should take a look at, because flax oil had its drawbacks and stuff. And listen, nothing against flax, nothing against some of these others. I wanted it to be plant-based. I didn't want to use fish. But I wanted this omega supplement that really packed a punch and did even more than the omega supplements out there. So with that, through my research, I stumbled on ahi flour, and I put it as part of my recipe and started taking it, started feeling better. And literally over about the course of about 6 months to a year, I dropped 45 pounds with diet and exercise, of course, taking this product every day. And with that, I also started giving it to friends, and my friends all sort of experienced the same thing, right? Some hormonal health changes, some cognitive functions, some results that you could see and feel. So with that, I said, well, gosh darn it. And because I only made them a little bit, I was getting all these ingredients. I remember talking to your team saying, hey, can I get some samples here? And they were so kind to continue to give me samples, saying, who is this guy? But we made a bunch of different samples. We made multiple rounds, 2 25-person studies. And again, informal studies just with different colleagues and friends. And we got a significant percentage of folks that saw great results. So with that, it was enough for me to say, well, gosh darn it, I have to start a new company, don't I? Especially if you have folks calling you saying, dude, Bill, I need this product like right now.
You've created this thing. Where can I buy it?
And that was the motivation. And so for me, then I started looking at what it would take to launch this brand. And it's been 3 years of back and forth, really getting the taste right, getting the recipe right, and finally we have the product at a place that's it's ready to go. It's ready to launch. We're doing so shortly.
Well, but what a great, gosh, there's so much there. I'd love to spend a chat for hours on, but I do have one question, and thanks so much for introducing us to ahi flour and your backstory for why ahi flour became central in your new product. But it must have been, as you say, one of the highest points, but the lowest points of your life to go through that process. Not only you founded the company, you used a proprietary recipe that your father had created, Dr. Bud Keith, I believe.
Yes. Pseudo doctor.
Yeah. Then to go through having to really carve it out, sleeping in your car, working with one Whole Foods and moving on to a chain of them. To sell that, wasn't there some strong emotional attachment? You must have had a lot of sleepless nights thinking, should I, shouldn't I? And not only that, who are you going to sell this legacy to? Because that in itself, the home that you're selling your creation to is a huge undertaking to work through and think through. So I'm really keen just to hear how you went through that process.
Well, you're 100% right. Looking at the different partners in talking to them about the vision of fresh snacking. Now that we created this set, which now there's multiple partners in this set and multiple brands, and it's really filled out to be a destination spot within retail. It wasn't like that at first when we created that. So to find someone that saw the vision that we saw, we chose Mondelez because they had the passion for fresh snacking. They had the vision. They were purpose driven. They wanted to make sure that they fostered our family legacy and didn't cut corners when it came to quality. Also, they had the leverage to really make this brand be everything it can be. And so, given all those factors and going through all of the different, companies, because gosh, we really circled the globe. We came to a point where they were the right partner. But that being said, when that deal happens and you're sitting sort of on the other side of it, there is a sort of you take a deep breath, right? But I could literally only catch my breath for a couple days. I kid you not, from when it happened to when I got this diagnosis, that it was like, wow, I felt like I was right back in the fire again,
Right.
So 18 years of just cranking away towards one, big transaction, and then right back in the fire again and battling for something that's way more important than obviously monetary dollars. Because and I remember thinking to myself, I'd give all that up to just be healthy. I absolutely give it all up.
You're looking great, and I think there must have been some aligning of the planets there to allow you to have that time to focus on your health,
Yes.
which seems like the sort of chronology of that worked very well. And that sort of leads me into, so what I'm really keen to hear about and learn from you about is the creation of Greenfat. And you mentioned about we were sending you samples, and my team were really excited. They said, Bill Keith, he was the founder of Perfect Snacks, and I don't know what he's doing with this oil, but we're kind of excited that it's going to be, it's going to be successful. And clearly you've had great success as you enter into this new chapter. Now, you and I talked a little bit about the background to Greenfat, and the first thing that really struck me is, there's two things that really struck me. I looked at your product ingredients on Perfect Bar, and I looked at the product ingredients on Greenfat, and there is nothing in there that you can't go and find in nature. And not only that, everything was a natural whole food ingredient.
Mm-hmm.
And it was only one step removed from its origin.
That's right.
Which I love, not sort of super processed and extended or extruded or what have you. So that seems to be a key theme within your business about the whole food side of things. But then the other thing that really interested me is that you've captured this term pro-aging. Mm-hmm. And you talk very much about pro-aging. And believe you me, when you get to my age, pro-aging is a lot more important every day. So maybe you could explain a little bit about what pro-aging is and how you see that playing into sort of your own personal wellness.
Yes, no, thank you. So pro-aging for me is, it's the opposite of, we're the opposite anti-agers. We're the anti-agers, what I like to say, because there's so much in society about being youthful again, being young, anti-aging this. I mean, it's all over Hollywood, and you go all these different various places. And what we're trying to send across in our messaging is that I don't want to be in my 30s again. I don't want to be in my 20s. I love my 40s, and I'm sure I'm going to continue to love my 50s and 60s and beyond. We want everything that life gives you with aging, which is memories, sunsets, all those beautiful moments. I have all of those moments now, and it's only going to excel from here, right? So we want to make it to where we facilitate the process of all of our customers to be pro at aging. And we do that by making an impactful product that helps you enjoy every second to its best of its ability. And we do that through food nutrition. And we do it through different recommendations from dietary, which we have on our website, as well as activities, because we don't want to go back in time. Time has given us all these great things. We want you to be pro-aging and enjoy every second.
I love it. There are days when I think, I wish I could do what I used to be able to do 10 or 20 years ago. But you come to a point that I've actually embraced aging, because you can't run from it. You can't hide from it.
Everyone does.
So enjoy it and really relax with it. So before I heard the term pro-aging, my parents were talking about, you just need to learn to grow old gracefully.
Amen.
Amen. I think that so great. So So
Yeah.
how you've created Greenfat as a product? Maybe you can talk to us a little bit about what Greenfat is and how do you see the formula supporting this pro-aging?
Yeah, so great question. So we have 9 plant-based foods, and these plant-based foods are designed for males and females both. We also have a gender-neutral capsule that we sell, sort of a travel cap. And these foods have 5 essential fatty acids: ALA, SDA, DHA, EPA, and GLA. A lot of omega supplements out there will have EPA, DHA, or they'll have 2 or 3, but we have 5. And obviously, the GLA comes from the ahi flower, as well as comes from, in our female version, we up the GLA content a little bit more with our evening primrose oil. For the males, we have the pumpkin seed oil, which is high in plant stanols. But to your point, each one of these ingredients that we chose are food concentrates versus nutrient isolates. So for instance, we get the vitamin E, which you get a high dose of vitamin E in our product, and that's from the wheat germ oil, which is the highest concentration of vitamin E in food form. And why is that important? We believe that with food, and this has been proven, you're able to absorb the nutrients more effectively than with nutrient isolates, because food concentrates has all the peptides, phytonutrients, and all the enzymes that helps you digest that nutrient. So you've heard the old term where folks with, multiple vitamins and stuff, you're probably peeing a lot of that stuff out, right? Mm-hmm. How much of that stuff are you actually absorbing? It's one thing to have, and I called it with my bars, you'd have several bars out there that had the perfect nutrition supplement fact panel, right? Where they had 100% of every vitamin and mineral and this and this and this. The only problem is whenever folks ate it, they felt like a gut bomb. And how much were they really using those nutrients? So for us, it was about designing these different foods, or not designing, but designing this product with these different foods in mind, to help you capture the benefits that each one of these foods have to offer, whether it be mushroom oil, whether it be hemp seed oil, just go down through the line. So for us, it's one thing to have all these amazing foods that do all these great things, but it also has to taste really good. Otherwise, folks aren't going to take it. And that's my background with Perfect Bar. Every product that we made, it needs to have either a very neutral taste, but if it's any pungent or fishy taste at all, folks are going to run from it. And so we were able to get this product to a point that it tastes really good. You can take it daily in spoonfuls. And again, if you don't like taking oils, no problem. You can also mix it in with a shake, or you can put it on salad. It's neutral enough to even put it as part of salad dressing with a little vinaigrette in there. And then also you can take it in capsule form. You just would rather not take the oils. We have a capsule version that still has 5 essential fatty acids. The difference with the capsules is you're not able to get the other, which I think are very important ingredients in there. So this is just 4 ingredients as opposed to 9 in the capsule.
I love the idea of a pourable oil. It's how I take my omegas, because I'm not very disciplined at taking so many capsules a day, and I like to mix it up. I like to put it into a smoothie or a salad dressing or what have you. So I understand that, and you talked about probably nature's most potent lineup of fatty acids: GLA, SDA, ALA, EPA, and DHA. And 3 of those come from ahi flower, as you say, the SDA, GLA, and ALA, which is kind of unique in the plant kingdom. What in terms of how those 3 fatty acids complement EPA and DHA in that blend, what do you see as sort of how important is ahi flower and that those 3 fatty acids within the blend of 5?
Very important. Again, so many products and sort of competitors that we will be comparing our product to will have plant-based high in ALA, right? Which we know from the science that ALA is just converting at a much lesser rate compared to SDA, right? From the ahi flower. So when I went in there looking at the different options of which oils to be that base, ahi flower was far and above the best option. And when you complement with these other foods, such as the algae oil, which is great in the DHA and EPA, and in a whole host of other foods, it really makes this synergistic approach towards nutrition to give you the best ability to what we like to say is be pro at aging, right? Because you're not going to find a product like this. We're very transparent in our website that we compare the other products right to ours, so you can see, hey, here's what we have versus theirs. Also, we try to be real transparent and say, here's what they have that we don't as well. So it's not a one-sided deal. And that's how I'm going to approach this, because so many products nowadays are riddled with proprietary blends, riddled with hidden ingredients, riddled with all these different sneaky things. And with Greenfat, I was about to say Perfect Bar. With Greenfat, we put our formula right on the label. So we have transparent process all the way through. We show you the NIH studies on our website. It is all linked. We don't make any crazy claims. It is all backed by, science. And we basically give you all the tools as the customer to make the best decision for your health.
Right.
And we want to guide you through the process.
Now, you mentioned supplements and you mentioned food. Do you see this as a supplement, or do you see it as a food? And should I see it as a supplement or as a food?
Well, no, it's a great question. Technically, it is classified as a supplement, right? Because we list the nutrients and stuff on there. It is. These are food concentrates. They're
whole foods.
These are food concentrates. So, yes, it'll supplement your diet. And the way I see supplements' role being important, because supplements were critical during my stage, and this product was very critical to me getting better. Yeah, so foods have 40 to 50% less nutrients than the same foods 40 years ago, right? A generation ago. And they say even 50, 60% less than 80 years ago. Well, if you're looking nutrients by mass and you're looking at how adulterated and processed our foods are now, then no wonder we struggle with obesity. No wonder we struggle with all these host of diabetes and health challenges going on in the world right now. I mean, we're reaching levels of it's getting out of hand, quite honestly, and our health is not getting better. And how advanced our society is, the fact that we continue to have these challenges, and I hate to say it, but a lot of it is driven by greed and just trying to cut corners and get the fast fix of a carbo or some sort of energy rush that'll get us to the next step, and we're not thinking about our body and our foods long term. And so anyway, that was a long tangent, but let me get to the reason about this. So that's why I see this product as being an important essential fatty acid, which is what your body needs to consume. It can't make, important to take daily as a supplement with your foods.
Yeah. No, well, you touch on some really important points there. Nutrition is probably the area that I think, nutrition and education actually, but we're here to talk about nutrition, gives society the single biggest return on its investment.
Yes.
If we look at the health outcomes, and not just physical health outcomes like weight, mental health outcomes as well. All of those things kind of are interacted, and I think a lot of it is because of our diets. So
I agree.
Our diets, the supply chains that they come from, the stuff that we use to make them we haven't shrouded ourselves in glory, should we say, in terms of what we're putting into our bodies.
Right.
And I know from our prior conversations that you hold up the sort of tenets of your business to achieve is not about short-term profitability. It's about long-term sustainable growth, built on the pillars of unparalleled quality, craftsmanship around how you've designed your products, and excellent customer service, which is right. Great. The one thing that I'm really fascinated about, Bill, with Greenfat is, we talked about, is it a supplement, is it a food? And you say it's a supplement because it has the subs facts on the label there. Mm-hmm. But I think it's the first product that we've seen that doesn't talk about condition-specific benefits. Mm-hmm. It talks about pro-aging. And I love it. I love the idea that we're not trying to say, you will get these associated benefits, but what we're really here is he's providing nutrition that's going to help you sort of grow old gracefully. And we get a lot of supplements that are formulated to treat a very specific condition, for all of the things that we know omegas are beneficial for. And it seems like you've stepped away from that. You said, you know what, this will do all of the above, but it's also just to help you transition. As you get older, you're going to get all of these benefits, but we're not going to call them out as take it for this, take it for that. Just take it for life. Take it for vitality.
That's right. Take it daily. It's a part of your routine. For me, it's like waking up, and for some folks, I don't drink coffee. My wife does, but she has it every morning. I take my Greenfat every morning. Now I'm getting low. Thank goodness we're launching in a few weeks here. We'll have plenty of product. But no, I agree. It's about sustaining sort of those energies and the vitality throughout the day. And I notice after about a week or 2 weeks of not taking this product, I see a whole host of things that I take for granted after being on this for about 2 years. My energy will start to sink a little bit. My memory won't quite be there. And then from the hormonal perspective, it really has some amazing effects. So yeah, I'm excited. And for me, it's all about the folks believing it. Like once you try it, I've given it to multiple, again, like I said, 225-person study groups, other friends, and the folks that come back to me go, I get it, and they'll just look at you with a certain nod. Like, I understand, like, give me some more of this product. And that's who I want to serve. I mean, listen, I fortunately enough, have been very successful with Perfect Bar. I wasn't wanting to necessarily start another product company. If you would have told me 4 years ago, you're going to start one, I would have just laughed at you and said, why on earth would I do that? But it's so personal to me. And I've seen the results firsthand, and I don't have a choice. It's like I have to,
That's the best, that really is the best driver. And I can tell in our conversations, your authenticity just shines through, which is great. And you did talk about your personal experiences and the experiences of the 225-person groups. Using sort of just anecdotal feedback, what were the sort of overriding messages that you heard from them?
Hormonal. I mean, for guys, it's wild, and again, these groups were 40 plus, 60s, 70s, and it's foods that we're not getting on a daily basis. So I believe there's a lot of ways you can approach hormonal health in males. You can do it from pharmaceutical, you can do it from herbs, or you could look at hormonal health from vitamin deficiencies, right? And when you elevate those vitamins and essential fatty acids and a whole host of plant stanols and go through the list of foods that we have, if you're able to do that on a daily basis, within a week or two, you start seeing some noticeable changes. And consistency is key. Obviously, this is not a quick fix. This is not something you take in the next day, you feel a noticeable change. This is just food. The good news about taking this as opposed to a pharmacy or pharmaceutical drug or any type of stimulant is, you're taking food. And it's good for you.
No, I think that's great. And as you say, you see so many of these benefits. And to me, going back to this pro-aging thing, I got 2 great kids. I've got a farm. I'm very active. I don't want to slow down. I want to have vitality. And if I look at the generation of my parents, they're still very active and
yes,
they're getting on for it. My dad's will be 101.
Wow.
But they, the 2 things I would always say: never stop moving and eat well.
Amen.
And I think that's great advice. But it's, again, I need that vitality. I need that energy to keep going. And I haven't experienced Greenfat as a product. I can't wait till it's available to try it. But I do find if I ease back on taking ahi flour, I feel a little bit lethargic. I certainly ache after I've been working outside all day long, and that sort of thing. So I can certainly see those benefits. And I guess for me, when I talk about vitality, what I'm also talking about is hormonal, hormonal optimization as well. So that's great. So when can people, where and when will people, let me put my false tooth back in. When and where will people be able to find your Greenfat product?
Yes. So Greenfat will be available first week of June on greenfat.com. It'll be direct to consumer across North America. We're hoping for Canada to be a part of the list, but we're launching in the US at first. And yeah, we're going to be promoting through social, obviously through different digital, as well as we're going to be part of the APP tour, like the pickleball tour. So we're going to have field teams there with events, and so you'll be able to see folks from Greenfat representing the product and spreading the word through that. And we're really looking forward to it. We have hopefully Amazon coming on board in about 6 months. We're going to do a lot of test and learns. Obviously, when you launch a company, you want to make sure that the product is arriving well and working out all the logistical issues. But once we get through that, we'll take it to a next step. And I see this product being available in retail in about 18 to 24 months. But again, we're wanting to launch through direct to consumer first and then grow from there.
Well, that's excellent. So a big day, only like 3 weeks away.
Weeks away. So June. It's June 1st. It could be as late as June 9th. But either way, it's the first week of June.
Okay, well, we're going to put up greenfat.com here as a footer on this interview. And I think this will probably publish around about June the 1st. So it'll be a great launch pad. And we wish you all the best. And both on behalf of Nature's Crops and me personally, Bill, we're really proud to be featuring so strongly within the Greenfat product. I love your story. I love your enthusiasm, your prior success with the Perfect Bar. I know you're going to be super successful and wish you all the best.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, I appreciate you having me on, and great conversing with you, and look forward to hopefully doing this chapter 2 of this story shortly.
Excellent. Now, I've got one last question, if I may. How many of the 13 siblings are going to be joining you in Greenfat?
That is a great question. For right now, it's a lone endeavor. I'll never say never, though. I'll tell you, I've had a real pleasure working with my brothers and sisters in Perfect Bar. We did things because we were brothers and sisters that other partnerships couldn't do, as far from a trust factor, from just an accountability and quality, and go through the whole host of benefits. So it would be a pleasure to work with them. But for right now, it's just me. I'm going to try to prove myself again a little bit. And then, if it's successful, and we can talk about that.
Good for you. Well, I wish you all the very best.
Thank you so much. I hope you have a great day.
Thank you.